Go do. If he tells you just to cut such and such out of your diet, do it.
Right.
As simple as that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, there is another fake fear out here. What was going on at the White House?
Right.
Now, look at how many black people had that, that fake, the false fear that America's coming down, it's being destroyed. People are still talking like that now. Our country, what the hell are we on here?
Right.
You gonna claim a country where you own nothing? The Africans and Asians and all of them, if they say America is our country, I wouldn't have no problem with that because they own things here. Yeah. They own a piece of this place.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like somebody owning stock in a company. You can say this is my company. I'm a 7% shareholder here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I have my portion here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna do whatever for the greater good and all of that, But we have nothing here at all. And what little bit that we might have is definitely soon to be taken. Believe that.
Crumbs,
Right. Crumbs is gonna get snatched.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This has never been our place. Look how we came here, and versus how everybody else came here. We came here in chains. And that's one thing to never forget. So when we sit there and talk about, our country, we should be, pretty happy what happened, at the
state capitol.
At the Capitol. Yeah.
Right.
We should be happy. Because if it happened at the Capitol of Washington, D.C., which is the capital of the United States, that means Babylon is falling.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What greater place for a sign than that?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Signs in New York is one thing.
Right.
The signs right at the Capitol, right at the Capitol building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's something else right there. That's something else right there. They had people, was Nancy Pelosi's office, and his feet up on the dude had his feet up on the desk. Remind me of some movie I seen where it was like at what was it like Gremlins? Where they got into somebody's house where they was getting people just like gremlins. They say black people. And they was making so many funny memes. They had the ones that were really hilarious.
Right. Capitol. Yeah, I want to say it's last Wednesday. That sounds
I think it
last Wednesday or Tuesday.
I think it was. What was it?
Of course, with Ezekiel, the 26th chapter, pretty much what Ezekiel is doing is, he's talking about how glorious Tyre is.
Right.
The place of Tyre, but then he later elaborates just to show his sarcasm, to show how it's going to be destroyed.
Right.
And I just want to get that real quick. I actually have 2 precepts for you. Let me see what I started. Okay, I'll just get straight to the point. Ezekiel chapter 26, verse 3. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, behold, I am against thee. I am against thee, O Tyrus, and will cause many nations to come against thee, as the sea causes his waves to come up. Verse 4. And they shall destroy the walls of Tyrus, and break down her towers. I will also scrape her dust from her, and make her like the top of a rock. And it shall be the place for the spreading of nets in the midst of the sea. So that's one. So that's one. So
that's a good one. Yeah, I like that. And what people got to understand too, when you take on the ways of a certain nation that the Most High said He's going to destroy, this also is talking about you, as far as it's talking about America. Because what did America do? America is a compilation of every evil empire before it, including
the hold of every foul spirit and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird.
Right, that's right. That this place is straight up going down. Just like but this also, because a lot of people try and argue about the whole Babylon thing. They'll try and say, "Oh, see, that's talking about ancient Babylon." The Most High didn't do ancient Babylon that way. He overthrew that with no violence. Remember that when Darius killed Belshazzar?
Belshazzar. Yeah.
It just took it over just like that. But this Babylon that it's talking about here, this proves that it's not talking about that one.
Right.
This is talking about a future. That's why I said mystery Babylon in Revelation. Because during the time when John was living, this Babylon wasn't really there yet.
Right.
It wasn't there yet, so nobody knew what it was talking about. Some wise prophets figured it had something to definitely do with Rome. Definitely. Because Rome were the Babylonians. They had Babylonian traditions. They would even march like the Babylonians. They had a sign with a circle and a hand in it. All of the symbolisms that they had. The Pope type stuff. Yeah, the Pope garments with all the symbols. So they was able to see that much. But it wasn't talking particularly about that one. The one that will be to come, that will be more powerful than I got Revelation 18:7 down here too.
From
there.
We can be on the same page. Verse 3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard, verse 4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities.
Right. Now think about it. How did they go into bed with her? By taking on her sins.
Right.
Hating God's chosen people just like she do.
Right.
And the Americans are the places and all that, even coming over to be rap stars and stuff like that, right? And even spreading that type of that type of stuff over to their people.
Right.
Women is turning into hoes. It's breaking down the whole moral fabric of the world.
Right.
That's right.
All right. Any more?
No, that was it. Unless you want to go to verse 7, all the way to verse 7.
Yeah, we can go to verse 7.
All right, let me view the whole chapter. I got you. Verse 6. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double, according to her works. And the cup which she hath filled to her double. Verse 7. How much she hath glorified herself, and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am now no widow, and shall see no sorrow.
Yeah, now think about it. Now this is the reason why, with her saying that, this is the reason why all of this stuff is going on now, and they still having hope in America. All the Americans represent the mindset of her. They saying, I set a queen. All of them together is saying, I set a queen that should know no sorrow, no suffering.
Right.
Even though the suffering and the sorrow is right here.
Absolutely.
They thinking that they're going to get past it and everything. This is going to be something just for the history books, and everything is they're going to rise up and be great again. But no, they're at a time of a fall, a continual fall. Just like what was happening with Rome, except for this fall right here, they're never going to come up again.
Right.
From this one right here, they're going to the bottomless pit for real on this one. From destruction to the destruction to the destruction to the destruction.
It's a lot. When you say that, I just think of so many scriptures and books. Obadiah, Isaiah 13.
Right.
Daniel, the whole Revelation.
Right. Ezekiel 35 and some silly brother.
I want to say Daniel as well.
Daniel as well. Some silly brother. He was one of them Old Testament dudes.
You said Testament. I never heard that.
What was he saying? I asked him, where is you don't believe in the New Testament? I'm like, where's your sacrifices at? Where's your sacrifices? Have you been sacrificing and such and such? He's like, oh, the sacrifices. Remember when the scriptures said the Lord shall have a great slaughter in Idumea? He tried to bring that and try to say that we gonna be the sacrifice because they got some little group that's only based on hating the I.S.U.P.K.
Right.
It's only based on that. He said we're gonna be the trying to say that we're gonna be the ones that the sacrifice, the great sacrifice and all of that. And I'm like, but he left out like Idumea and stuff like that what he was talking about. He left all of that stuff out.
Of course.
So I had to hit him with that. And he bounced quick as hell. He ain't have no responses or none of that. But it's crazy because.
Body bag.
Right, yeah, he was done. You got groups out there in the midst of all of this stuff going on, and they should be seeing, our, freedom.
Right.
And instead, they making groups out there just to hate only us. Yeah, serious. Groups out there just to hate us specifically.
So like I just want to say this, I ain't trying to speak too much, but I think it's very important to talk about. I just find it very ironic how the scriptures tell you once again what you should do and what you should not do.
Right.
And everybody think that they got their own truth and things of that sort. The Bible speaks about all that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everything that, like how people dedicate their lives just to hate on us, there's scriptures about that as well. You know what I'm saying? How these things would happen and come.
Right.
And they show themselves to get confounded day and night and day.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And everything else.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because, a nigga could have been dead a long time ago.
Right.
Really, all of us could have been dead if we never found this place.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, but that group right there, they even allow, Edomites to be with them to try and cut us up. And even in the midst of also using racial slurs, and they still defend the devils. I'm like, wow, this is what it do now, huh?
Uncle Tom.
Yeah, no doubt, whole group, Israelite Uncle Tom group.
One last thing. A long time ago, you remember that whole conspiracy thing with the purple cats?
Right.
You know what I mean? You remember how they was trying to come after U.P.K, things of that sort?
Right.
And we exposed them for just how the hatred was.
Right.
The comments about Trayvon Martin and locking up brothers, falsely locking up brothers just for some money.
Right.
Like that sounds like a slave.
Yeah, that is exactly what that is.
Yeah, that sounds like a slave.
Yeah, what do you say? I'll never forget that.
That right there.
The Haitian dude was the one that said, "Who the hell cares about Trayvon Martin? He was rebellion. He was rebellion." Remember that?
He should listen to that white man. He never would have died.
Yeah, and these are leaders though of that group that think that they're gonna leave Israel.
Man, good night. and then that one song they have, "We the 12." Like, oh yeah, y'all definitely 12. Just talking about 12 tribes. No, y'all the 12. Y'all the feds. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, good night.
And the one dude, he said in one of his little clips that he wished he tried to be a cop or something like that. We already know what the hell he wanted to be a damn cop for. Just so he can abuse niggas.
Right. So abuse, kill.
He said the one dude said, if you the big eyed one, he said, if you in my neighborhood, I'm snitching. You got a felony, I'm snitching.
I remember that, yeah.
You in my neighborhood. Now, if you in a neighborhood full of black people, about a third of the damn people got a warrant. Right? So he gonna snitch on all those people.
Right.
To try and get them all locked up. Or either that, or he lives in a white neighborhood and another black move in, he gonna automatically think they must have a warrant.
Right.
Now if that ain't an Uncle Tom spirit, I don't know what the hell it is. He gonna step out on the porch and sit there and watch him in that neighborhood with his purple shirt on. Sit there and watch the new black people move in, just so he can look at them to see which one he think got a warrant.
Right.
That's some evil stuff right there.
It's very evil, disgusting.
I want to see the Bible where that's anywhere near Christ-like.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You
God.
know, Christ rolled with the type of people. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I was having more thought for Israel.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. You sure did. Right.
And the people that was trying to hit him for his arrest, I mean, dude got the same spirit. Sadducees and Pharisees.
Right.
They have the
exactly.
same spirit. Go ahead.
Right.
They wear purple too?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Right. Interesting. Yeah.
Right. Just like
Exactly.
the one dude that wouldn't feed Lazarus. He was clothed in purple.
Right.
God.
Every day.
Yeah.
You know?
Luke 16 chapter.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. God. And that's a perfect parable.
Right.
Perfect parable for just cast like that in general. That's the
Right.
Christian church. That's everybody outside of the truth that truly showed a hatred for their own people.
Right. And you know what? What it all boils down to, it they despise black men.
Of course.
And everybody, the type of dudes that Jesus rolled with, would be the same type of dudes that if they was living back then, they would despise him. Peter and Peter's brother were both fishermen.
God, that's right.
You know what I'm saying? You have a job like that, the people look at you as a criminal.
God.
Still.
God.
You're a blue collar dude, you still get looked at as a criminal.
God.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
One thing, you're not a rich dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know? You're not like rich and famous and all of that.
Right.
If you ain't rich and famous, you know, you looked at as a criminal.
Right.
You ain't got to be a criminal to be looked at as a criminal, counted as a criminal. You black, you born with zero net worth.
Mm-hmm.
You are born a criminal. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody with zero net worth is looked at as a criminal in Roman society.
God.
You know what I'm saying? In the old Rome and the new Rome.
Right.
You know, you born at zero net worth, and then in a lot of instances, you know, by the time you 5 years old, you in debt because your mom done put all this stuff in your name.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There, you in debt and you got born with zero net worth. You automatically a criminal. That's why they don't think nothing about it when they abort black children. They're fighting crime.
Right.
Y'all ever heard them say that? That a black woman that gets an abortion is a crime fighter?
I don't think I heard that. I heard that she's a murderer though, but that's facts.
White people say she's a crime fighter. She's a hero. Ain't that something? You know, but Christ rolled with, you know, people. He rolled with Matthew. Matthew was, you know, hated among the people because Matthew was a tax collector. You know, back then, being a tax collector had you shunned among people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But Matthew, you know, he was, you know, repentant and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But what Matthew would do, he would collect tax for the Romans. And what a tax collector would do is put his own tax on there for himself. Even though he got caught his cut of money from the Romans,
right.
He can go into a certain city like Galilee or whatever, say the tax there is such and such an amount. He can put his own fee on there, and he keep that, and on top of what the Romans pay him. So that's why they despise, you know, tax collectors. And Peter, like I said, Peter and them was fishermen. You know, nobody look at a fisherman as nothing. You know what I'm saying? Christ was a carpenter. You know, his son, he was called the son of the carpenter.
Right.
That's why when he, you know, was speaking and everything, people was like, ain't this the son of the carpenter? Like pretty much saying he's nothing. What's he doing talking? He's supposed to be somewhere, you know, making a table. You know, they looking at it like that. You know, and you're a band of black dudes, you know, in the time when Rome was in power, you masculine black men, you automatically, you know what I'm saying, looked at as a criminal. You're on the criminal list.
Right.
Okay, let's see, scripture. Okay, yeah. Okay. This is the point that I wanted to bring out to, let's go to Genesis chapter 4 and verse 23.
I want to say this real quick though, right? Based on what you're saying, like, no matter what a black and Hispanic Native American man can never get any credit for any goddamn thing.
Right.
And you see it in the Bible too.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But they praise Jesus and praise the Most High, but they're praising Him in all the wrong reasons. They're praising them in all the wrong reasons.
Right.
You know what I mean? If
Right.
they really knew who He was, you know what I mean? They're like, nah, I can mess with these two.
Right. It's like against global law to give a black man credit for real, genuine credit for anything. We get credit for being like entertainers in ways that we benefited white people, but to get genuine credit, it's something that will make our people look good.
Right.
We don't get that at all. What they want to do is they'll sit there and take somebody that's great at something and isolate them from the black race pretty much and say, see, he did this, individually, did all of this, on his own. And he did this because, white people were over him and they helped him and they, like whatever, anything good about him come from them.
Right. You want to get
Yeah.
Genesis chapter 4, verse 23. And Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it upon both their shoulders and went backward.
Wait a minute. I think I'm in the wrong, this is the wrong verse, right? Wrong scripture. I was going to go to the one with Lamech. I think I put down the wrong scripture. I want to talk about surely Lamech, 70 and sevenfold.
Okay, I think you're talking about the 19th verse. Which verse are you at, Omar?
4 and 23.
Try 19. That's not it?
Oh, Slack. I was at the one.
Oh, okay.
Slack, I'm sure.
That's all good.
Kind of Genesis 4 and 23. Yeah, that's it. Salaki. Genesis chapter 4, verse 23. And Lamech said unto his wives, Adah and Zillah, hear my voice. Salaki. Hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech. Hearken unto my speech. For I have slain a man to my wounding, and a young man to my hurt. Verse 24. If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 70 and sevenfold.
Now, with these American problems, like when how many people died at the Capitol Hill? Got shot.
I heard you said what?
You heard? Well, I heard at the Capitol Hill.
Damn, I want to say. I'm not too sure.
That was white on white crime, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Now, black Hispanics and Native Indians this is one of the most important times to understand that you're not an American.
Right.
Because if you believe you're American, you're going to want to join in and pick a side. Right? But what did it say again?
If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 70 and sevenfold.
It says if Cain shall be avenged. Now think about this. Look at the vengeance of Cain. Any man that slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken hold on him sevenfold.
Right.
So if blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians get in on it, you don't get between two lions that's going at it.
Right.
You're a sheep.
Mm-hmm.
And you see two lions fighting. What should it be your time to do? What should you do when you're a sheep and you see two lions going at it? Anybody know? Get out of there, right? Let them get far away and watch it from afar, and just look at them until they injure one another, till both of them is about to die. You know what I'm saying?
It was 5 people that died.
5 people, and that was Cain on Cain.
Beautiful.
You know what I'm saying? Cain on Cain. So let the vengeance of Cain fall upon Cain sevenfold, and then sevenfold back, and sevenfold back again. And there, you know what? A lot of people don't know. who Lamech is, the modern day Lamech, that Jewish man. Because he, even out of all of Esau, he's still Mr. Untouchable. That's one of the reasons why they make up such small population, but at the same time seem to have the most power. And they don't even have to go in directly like that. What do? They fund both sides of wars. They see two nations going at it, right? What do? They find out what one's lacking, and then they supply them. And what do? They let them slaughter each other up to where they're weak. And what do? They go in and send someone else to take the spoils.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And who is they under their control. They have two of the most powerful military forces on the planet, which is America and Israel. You know what I'm saying? They're kind of like the personal army sevenfold for Lamech. You know what I'm saying? They have the power to do that because they have the best military on the planet.
Right.
In verse 2. The oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
That's right.
Isaiah chapter 19, verse 2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians.
Yep, there you go. Now, this ain't just, anybody that takes on the ways of the Egyptians, which the white man has embraced.
Right.
He's embraced every culture that it is out there, starting from the Horites going all the way down. You know what I'm saying? He didn't. That's why. You got what did Esau do? One of his wives was one of the daughters of Ishmael. You ever read that? Yeah, one of Esau's wives is one of the daughters of Ishmael, one of his first wives.
Oh God.
Now, also too, look at the portion of white people that are Muslim. Right. You know what I'm saying? Croatia, well, that's a Muslim country, ain't it? Croatia.
Yeah.
All of those Eastern European countries, they're Muslim. A lot of people think that, white people are majority made up of Christians, now, but they made up of Islam too. A very high percentage of them are Islam. Russia's a Muslim country. Bosnia. Let's see, what other ones? Scandinavia. All of them type places. Those are white Muslim countries. Okay, go ahead.
And they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor.
What we should do is let them go at it,
right?
Because their blessing is by the sword. They can't stop killing. They always have to have someone to fight. Always. They always have to, even if it's each other. They have a hell of a history of murdering and slaughtering each other by the hundreds of millions. How many people died in World War II? Or somewhere around 100 million.
Something like that.
It was a huge number. It was a gigantic number. World War II was a big number because they were fighting in all of these different countries. Italy, France. Remember the movie Saving Private Ryan? Mm-hmm. Remember all the dust little cans that do to collect a lot of. Remember the scripture when it says to make these small among the heathen. They done had some serious, some serious wipeouts. You know what I'm saying? They repopulated and they got wiped out again.
No, it's like it says right here, as far as the casualties in World War II, it says approximately 75 million people, but it says including about 20 million military personnel, 40 million civilians, and that's about it. But it missed the other details. But it's definitely a higher number than that.
Yeah.
It's a higher number than that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was supposed
based
to
on
be
what the generals had broke down, it's a higher number than that.
right. It was supposed to be 6 million of the Jewish.
Yeah.
Supposed to be 6 million just of them alone. Imagine all the other countries. That's a lot. That's a lot of killing right there. Yeah, but they're gonna try and save face a little bit for themselves.
Right.
Try and make it like they ain't the bloodthirsty mass murderers that they really are. You know what I'm saying? Okay, go ahead, man.
City against city and kingdom against kingdom.
Right, and that's the reason why blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians got to stay out the way. So that they can finish off the wrath that they got towards each other and keep getting weak. You know what I'm saying? Because us going, joining something and going up against them and all of that stuff, it's not gonna work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The Most High put the sword in their hand for a reason. They want us to try and join a fight like that with them. They want us to do that. And the first thing that they're gonna do is sick the military, get the military and the police involved. You know what I'm saying? First thing that they're gonna do, and just like what Commander GEN.YAHANNA was saying a while back, the ones that want to entice the fight, like these neo-Nazi types, they'll sit back and wait for the gleaning. You know what I'm saying? For them to do us real bad, and then they come around and kill up whatever's left, so they feel like heroes and stuff like that.
Very true.
And that's how they operate. Go ahead.
Verse 3. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof.
And the spirit is failing. Think about it for a second. When the stuff went down to the Capitol building, who were the Americans then? You have to think about it. You had the Trump supporters that's claiming to be red-blooded, die-hard Americans, right?
Right.
But then you have the other ones that don't like Trump. They claim to be the Americans too. Now there are two opposing sides, right? Which ones are the true Americans? All right.
Good question.
In reality, when it all boils down to it, it ain't no Americans. It's about race. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like it's always been with the music. That's what it is. It's an illusion. The whole concept of American and America and all of that is an illusion. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. That's the reason why nobody at the Capitol building, nobody knew who the real Americans were.
Right.
These are two opposing sides fighting each other, right? Who's the true Americans? Who's right? Who's being diehard American at that time?
Right.
They can't both be.
Right.
Because they're two opposing sides.
Exactly.
Believe in two different things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There was no Americans there. There were just white people. Now, here's the thing. Now, if a bunch of blacks was in on that, then the illusion of America would still be there. Because what would they do? Turn on them blacks. Right? That's what they would do. They would turn on the blacks, so now, and all of them will be the Americans. But you move the blacks off the table, and they're going at it. Nobody knows who American is now. You know what I'm saying? Nobody knows. During the time of Prohibition, who was the Americans then? The time of Prohibition, when Al Capone and them was murdering the hell out of each other. And the Jewish gangs were killing each other. The Irish gangs were killing each other. You know what I'm saying? They were killing each other way worse than what we killing each other now. They were the inventors of the drive-by, not us. You know what I'm saying? They were spraying each other down. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing for somebody to, to be driving down the street, and then all of a sudden, with them Thompson submachine guns, and when them Thompson submachine guns came out, the murder rate among white people skyrocketed. Because there, you can sit there and take that machine gun, have a 150 round drum in it, and clear out a whole damn room. And that's what a lot of them were doing.
Yeah.
They would go in a room with their damn enemies, and they was, blowing them away.
Yeah, I mean, it became like so natural because it was happening for a good minute.
Right.
You know what I mean? It became so natural.
They talk about right.
You see what I'm saying? That's problem. That's something that we have to take care of.
Domestic issue.
That's
right.
our business.
Right.
But as far as them, y'all making y'all business to kill and mess over each other and everybody else.
Right.
We ain't doing that. We never enslaved y'all.
Right.
It's so crazy though. Anytime that we always have been in power, we've always done things righteously.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, we have wicked kings against ourselves, but anytime we was in power over them, we always did things righteously.
Right, and we didn't
oppress them. That's something that they
them.
cannot take away from us.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? A nigga has never enslaved the devil. Never.
Right.
Never.
Yeah, we let them be. During the time of King David, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
We let them be. Now, Joab went, 6 months and started killing them and everything, but after that deal right there, we left them alone.
Right.
Just like many other kings of Israel left them alone. They had to pay their tribute. You know what I'm saying? That's all we took from them was the tribute. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The tribute money. We let them go ahead and, do what they do, build their cities, or whatever the case is,
Have their culture, all that.
Right. Yeah, we never took their culture from them,
right.
Or any of that. We just let them be.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we did with all the nations, and even the nations that were up more in power and everything, we made leagues with them and stuff like that. Peace deals, peace agreements, things like that. And that stuff never, it didn't always work in our favor because like King Solomon, we start marrying their women.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people think King Solomon was just a lusty dude. It was just that wasn't the case. A lot of the times. This is one thing about us. When we in power, we always try to show people how non biased and racist and stuff that we can be.
Right.
And a lot of the times that just like in King Solomon's instance, it went like we'll start to marry their women and everything because they will offer them to you as a peace agreement.
Right.
Y'all in-laws now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just like they do,
I said, I'm too wild.
Right, that's what I'm saying. They can keep that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the Most High told us not to do that.
Right.
But then we start, a little bit being a little carnal and, the next thing you know,
A gift destroyed the heart.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, behind that come more little gifts and everything and flattering speeches. But in reality, they thinking about how to overthrow us. You know what I'm saying? Just like, say, for instance, when, King Solomon was married to the daughter of Pharaoh. Mm-hmm. And at that time, the Egyptians they weren't like they were at first, being the top dog on the earth, because Israel was the top dog on the earth. Mm-hmm. You had a hierarchy of power on the earth even then. You know what I'm saying? You had the ancient Egyptians, the Syrians, were up there and all that, and going down the line, But there was an instance when Pharaoh got angry about something, and he went to the city of the Canaanites, slew them up, and took the city and gave it to his daughter, who was King Solomon's wife. Mm-hmm. That was like a sneaky way to diss King Solomon because there was peace between Israel and them Canaanites that was in that land. We had no beef with them. That's King Solomon, what his name means. King Solomon's name is SHALAM man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, man of peace. Right. There was no wars in his day. Mm-hmm. But Pharaoh, king of Egypt, started his peace man, man of peace. Mm-hmm. That's why the Most High said he want that man to build, his house. Mm-hmm. There wasn't much, blood on his hands. There wasn't no wars. Right. Like that.
Right.
Yeah, people were scared to go to war with King Solomon. because they played the Cold War games like chess and stuff like that. That's what kings always did on the earth. Kings would send like trap questions to each other, and if you couldn't answer the question, then you owed whoever sent the question a certain amount of money. This is an ancient game. They would do this. Kings of the earth would do this. This is where chess and all of those type of games come from. Stuff like that. All of these different war games they would play with each other. That's why Russian mob bosses and all of that, when they bring people into their land, like certain people that they in business with and all of that, they play a friendly game of chess, which is not even really a friendly game. They want to find out what you're going to do, what moves you would make if y'all were to actually become enemies.
Right.
They trying to, find out about you, how you think, how you move, certain situations, what would you do? And they would determine whether they want to go to war with you or not, based on the things, the way that you move, you know what I'm saying? And if you good, and you blowing them out and beating them like that, then they're going to hold off on their plans, believe that. They be like, wait a minute, hold on, this dude, he's something else. He's super tactical and such a,
No, you're right about that for sure. I mean, he was the wisest man on the face of the earth.
Right. People were the wisest man on the earth. Everybody want to test your wisdom. Every king on the planet, So now the challenge is on. The Cold War is on. Okay, let's keep going with the scripture.
Come. In the spirit of Egypt, Genesis chapter 19, Isaiah chapter 19, verse 3. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof.
Now the spirit of Egypt. Now we have to replace that with the spirit of America.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Remember that show House of Cards that we talking about?
Yeah, House of Cards. Yeah.
I'm watching it again. I done already watched it once. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching it. I'm going through it again. Notice in the House of Cards, it's got the American flag in the middle of it's turned upside down.
Yep.
Notice that in that House of Cards, and then the flag.
I don't think he's seen it yet.
Yeah, and the flag also ain't got no stars on it. You know what I'm saying? It has no stars and it's turned upside down. They pretty much, it's pretty much representing the fall right there. And the spirit of America has to do with that pride in being an American. So now, what's that mean? A lot of people going to leave off of that American pride, which they're already doing.
Are you back on season 1 right now?
Yeah, I'm on season 1. Yeah, I'm at the point where he's vice president right now. Okay, go ahead, one.
And they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards.
Yeah, the fortune tellers and all of them, they're going to go to them to see what, what's going to be done, or what can be done. They're not going to have no answers either. It's over with. It's done. Go ahead.
Verse 4. And the Egyptians were counselors of Pharaoh is become brutish.
All the council, all the Congress, what can they do right now? They can't put their heads together to screw in a light bulb right now.
Right.
They don't have no answers.
Right.
All they got is band-aids for bullet wounds. Some quick fix or something that's only going to bust apart again. Hell, they can't even make their minds up on the damn stimulus package. $600 You know what I'm saying? They can't make their minds up on that. You know, 300. You say 6. You say 3. You say 12. No, not 12. They arguing about that.
Right.
One of them say 1,200. The other one say 2,000. They pissed off at both of them. The ones that say 600. The ones that say 300. It's mad at them. Well, the package deal, the stimulus package deal should go up to such and such $1 billion. No, Chuck, that's not right.
No, that's facts.
You know, that's not right, Chuck. That's cutting into pensions, and it's cutting into this and cutting into that. Well, America's in need right now. America's in a dire need right now.
No. We were just talking about this, like what, Sabbath service, like where, like they just really greedy ass bastards. Like they have enough money to solve all money issues in America.
Right. Right.
See what I'm saying? And then they still got money left over.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's crazy. Like the way that Commander GEN.YAHANNA broke it down, I'm just like, that's facts. Like that's really a good point.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's very true.
Right.
And a lot of people think that you know they always talk about world hunger and all this other stuff. You got to send food to Africa. Africa got money.
Right.
Africa is a rich place.
Right.
See what I'm saying? And they scam you all the time, but this place is a rich place as well.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I mean they can end all our problems to the point where nobody ain't got to work.
Right.
And they know we're gonna dump all that money right back into their system.
Right.
Come on.
They know.
Right.
They do. They know that.
Well, what they want to do is they want to starve the people to keep you weak and desperate.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? That's how they get a lot of their power off, you know, having you chasing money.
Right.
They want you to chase.
Right.
If you chase money, you're always hungry.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you harm the people, and they sending all of Africa playing the game. Africa's getting funding from the Chinese, the Koreans, and America, and all of them competing over Africa's allegiance because they want them in the war when it pops off, and they want them to be on their side.
They are,
you know what I'm saying? Right, exactly. Yeah, that's probably why they got that the African Union.
Yeah.
You know, where all the African countries is uniting, and whoever controls that African Union, you know what I'm saying, is controlling 50 countries. You know,
and so like, ain't they part of NATO as well?
Yeah.
Part
right,
of NATO.
Right. They are part of NATO, UN, all of that.
Yeah.
You know, they got seats on all of that. You know, that's a lot of power right there. So, you know, that's, if they want to, and then think about it too. If they want to come in, you know, they want to send their military forces. Africa will be one of the routes. You know what I'm saying? Africa will be one of the routes, just like it was in the slave trade.
Right.
You know, they go through Africa, and then they cross the water into South America and come in through that way. You know. So now they need the support of, you know, also the governments down in South America also. Yeah, they also need their support. You know, they need oil refuels and stuff like that, which they can find in Venezuela. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the reasons why they hated Hugo Chavez and wanted him out the way. You know, because Hugo Chavez, you know, that was an Asherite nigga right there. He wasn't one of those, you know what I'm saying, one of those devils, you know, Spaniard or nothing. You know, I remember he did a speech talking about America. Some representative of America came down there, and he got up and he said, "The devil was here today." Dead serious.
I see that.
This is like months before he got killed
or
died. Hugo Chavez. He was the president of Venezuela. The brother with the little afro and the big nose. Yeah, he said the devil was here today. You know, he ain't played ball with them like that. You know,
I think just like how GEN.YAHANNA said, I want to say sometime last year. I think till this day they're still not trying to have any alliances with America.
Right, probably so. Just like because who did they put in his stead? I don't know. I still don't know.
I'm not sure, but last time I checked,